Good afternoon to everyone in the name of Jesus. Welcome and may God bless you. We are about to start our service. We're just having a bit of some technical glitches, but we are good to go. I'm looking for Sbu. If you hear, just lift up your hand, our speaker, because I want to unmute you and check something, one or two things. Welcome also to the Facebook family, much appreciated. We'll be starting off soon enough and we'll take it up from there. Right, so just give it about a minute or two and we'll come through while we're looking for our speaker. God bless you.
Hello, Cindy. So it's because we muted. Can you hear us now? Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to 2:30 Conversations. The time is 2:29. In a minute or so, we're going to be starting. We see one thumbs up. It also came to our attention that we didn't go off Facebook. Tim, it's nice to see you there with your video on. Gentlemen, when you see a lady with a video on, do not hesitate. That is an opportunity. They are showing themselves that we are there. They are beautiful. Welcome to each and everyone that is here. The new people, those that are well acquainted with 2:30 Conversations, we welcome each and every one of you. Please share far and wide to your friends on Facebook. Can I just get a confirmation that I'm loud and clear? Cindy Swa?
Let's give a shout.
Just give a shout. Yeah, the time is exactly 2:30 on a Sabbath afternoon. I sound like a radio DJ, bro. Okay, I'm going to be sharing the screen and taking you through the announcements of the day. 2:30 Conversations, for those that know, is all about thought, facilitation, and discussion. We have been growing. We've been going at it now. It's been just a year and a couple of days. We got a notification recently that it was our anniversary as 2:30 Conversations, and we really love the platform, the family that we've created, the people that we've come to know, each and every one of you making a difference in this team, in thinking, some of you partaking in a facilitation, as speakers, etc., as well as in taking part in the discussions. And for that, we are eternally grateful. 2:30 Conversations is on Facebook, so please be sure to follow 2:30 Conversations if you are not already doing it. They are on Facebook. They are also on YouTube. So check it out. All of the content, I think most of it is already on YouTube. From the time that we've started, we've had different speakers tackling different subjects. All of that is archived on YouTube. We are also grateful to SDA Advertise. We partnered with SDA Advertise from the onset, and our relationship with them has been growing stronger and stronger. So be sure to follow SDA Advertise on Facebook as well. We are live right now on Facebook under SDA Advertise. For those of you that aren't able to join in through Zoom, please be sure to check it out. Check out the program on Facebook. SDA Advertisers, as many of you know, on Instagram. Follow them. They don't follow anybody back. We don't know what their attitude is on that in that regard, but please follow SD Advertise. They advertise our programs as well as 230 Conversations and other programs as well, a variety of programs. I think it was initially in and around Mzansi, but I think it's been opened up to other jurisdictions as well. 230 Conversations, like I had advertised earlier on, is already on YouTube, so please be sure to subscribe. Today we're tackling the lesson Abraham's seed. Brother Leander was taking us through that, and we trust that you are blessed. Here we go. Pastor Spoo Faya.
Hey.
He's already on the platform, ladies and gentlemen, and I know that we are going to be blessed. We're going to be blessed as we listen to Umfundisi. He's here, he's in our midst, and he is going to be laboring under the theme titled Honesty to Self, only on 230 Conversations. If you have not yet invited your friend, be sure to do so before the pastor takes over, because you don't want to miss a single second. Jolo the Pandemic coming up next week with Elder Machando.
Yes, sir.
Jolo boy.
Jolo boy.
The Pandemic. So please join us with Elder Machando next week. Jolo the Pandemic. We have a long list of speakers that are already lined up with topics already given, themes have been determined. So it's going to be interesting. I think we've pepped it up all the way until the 31st of July. So 230 Conversations is where it's happening. Next week, be sure to tune in, and we're also going to be tackling the covenant at the Mount Sinai during Sabbath school. Airtime contributions, contact Mtandazo. Don't contact me. Mtandazo is the one that is responsible for handling issues relating to airtime and all other things ancillary there too. His number is 073-974-8498. If you are new on the platform and you're wondering what is airtime contributions, is he asking us to give him airtime so that he can do his own things? No, we have what is known as the data fund in 230 Conversations. So anybody that wants to join in onto the platform but does not have data, they should please let us know, because we've got people that contribute towards the data fund in the form of money. And then we then send that money to whoever wants to join in. And then we send it in the form of airtime, and then they convert it to data, and then they can come in here and be blessed. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the announcements for the day. My name is Ashley Sekel, and I am going to be your host this afternoon. And Pastor Faya is also here, our graphic designer. The 230 Conversations team is already here. It's about 6 or so guys. And we are ready to kickstart this afternoon's program. Before I introduce the speaker for the day, and I'm going to just ask Brother Mtandazo to step closer and just open for us. A short word of prayer.
Okay. For the people that are here on the platform on Zoom and also on Facebook, we pray that as he speaks, may the words come from an honest heart that has been imbued by the Spirit of God. Be with us, be with him, and may we learn and be revived at the end of the day. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Pastor Spoo, could I ask you to, if you haven't already done that, turn on your video. And I am going to look for him here and unmute him. Just say hello so that your screen pops up here and I see that you're there.
Mebo, how are you guys?
Great stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had very limited interactions with Umfundisi Spoo Faya, but I can tell you that on those few interactions, not even many, some of them, I think from a distance, I have been inspired by this man of God. And you can tell when you speak to Umfundisi that he has more to share.
Yes.
And we thought to ourselves, man, it would be lovely to have somebody like that come onto the platform. We did not give him the topic. He chose the topic himself. It's coming from the heart. And he says that he wants to speak to the young people. And I can say to you right now, from that limited interactions I've had with him, I was very, very inspired by this man. And I pray through the Holy Spirit that you will not be disappointed. And I'm going to be handing over to Umfundisi. Please do not hesitate to share the link far and wide, especially to young people. Even if the program has already started, please do so that everybody can be blessed. Umfundisi, over to you, sir. God bless you.
Let me sit comfortably. Thank you, guys. Just want to take this time and greet us all in the mighty name of King Jesus. I hope you guys had a beautiful Sabbath morning session. And you guys had a beautiful lunch. Now let's go to the book of John. Just put our hands in John 5. Just want to say first, just want to appreciate the opportunity that I've been given by the gentlemen and the ladies in the 2:30 conversation. And I really hope that the contribution today and the commentary and the information sharing that we're going to experience will go far and wide in trying to help us to be honest with ourselves. Actually, the topic that we are dealing with this afternoon is honesty to self. Honesty to self. Honesty to yourself. Not to anybody else, not to neighbors, but you need to sit down and have a meeting with yourself and be honest with yourself. So that's what we are discussing this today. Let's go to the book of John 8. There I want to read 2 verses. John 8, verse 32, and then I'm going to read verse 36. John 8:32 says, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." And then 36 says, "Therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed." May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word. Now, dear friends, lies are dangerous. Lies are extremely dangerous. But they're more dangerous if you are lying to yourself, if you are self-deceiving. I've said this before, that you can lie to everybody else and maybe get away with it. But when it comes to lying to yourself, it's a totally different playground. It's very hard to get away with lies that you tell to yourself, because you will meet yourself somewhere. I don't know if I'm making sense. You will meet yourself somewhere and you will have to give an account to yourself somehow. So the first thing that I really want to put down as we start is that you can lie to the world and get away with it, but don't lie to yourself. It is dangerous convincing yourself that something is real when it's not. It is risky to create an illusion in your mind and in your heart and in your space of employment or your space of work or your space of work. Because you see, we lie more when we're in front of people than when we are alone. But when we are alone, that's when we cook the lies. That's when we really sit down and convince ourselves that this is me. This is me. This is who I am. And this is where I'm going. While you know very well that this is not you and this is not where you're going. So this is the foundation that I want us to spring from, to build on, to say it is dangerous to lie to yourself. And the danger is in convincing yourself that which is not true is true. The danger is in convincing yourself that which is not real has now become realistic. So we need to really be honest with ourselves. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth about yourself. Tell yourself the truth about yourself. Don't lie to yourself, because you will pay the price for lying to yourself. Now, in our context here today, when we're talking of truth or honesty, we're not talking of so that comes from outside. We're not talking of truth that a person inherits or hears from somewhere. When we are saying you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We are simply talking about the truth from within. We are expounding from what you know about yourself from inside. We are looking at the truth, which I can call self-awareness or being self-conscious. So if you are you've got what I call self-awareness, you need to know who you are. And you need not lie to yourself about it. Because when you lie to yourself about it, then you are creating artificial expectations that you'll never meet. For instance, just lay an example. If a person were to create an image of a man who's got money in front of everyone, you are umreki. In front of everyone, umreki. But in the real sense of abareki, you're not there. So you're creating an illusion about yourself. And because you're creating an illusion about yourself of being a person who's loaded, the expectations are, if you're loaded, you must buy. So the time to buy comes and then you're not buying, then there's a problem because you've been lying to yourself. That's why you get caught. And for instance, one truth that I've come to realize is that a lot of people lie to themselves through procrastination. Procrastination is a lie. You are lying to yourself saying you will do it later. And you know very well from experience past that once you postpone it, chances of you picking it up are very slim. So those are issues that I want us to deal with. Honesty with yourself, being comfortable with yourself, knowing your limits, knowing your expectations, knowing how far you can go. So the verse that we have read, simple, straightforward. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now, one would ask, what is truth in this context? What is truth in this context? In this context, truth is a reality that you are living. A reality that you are. Not outside of yourself, but inside of your heart. A reality that you cannot run away from. Let me throw this one in. You might look at me as a tall man, and I present myself as muscular, I present myself as manly, I present myself as in charge and having confidence. But while in reality, I might be suffering from a very extremely low self-esteem. I might be suffering from serious confusion. There might be actually a boy inside of me who cries every night before I go to bed. These are realities that I want us to discuss. Who are you in real life is who are you when you are alone? Not when you're with us. Because when you're with us, you can pretend. You can act. The word for pretense or for being a hypocrite is to act. Is to take a role and you play it. And when you are done playing it, you need to put it down. So when you find yourself not being honest about your limitations, not being honest about your expectations, not being honest about who you are, because that's where I think the foundation is. You need to be honest to yourself about who you are, about your life experiences, about where you're coming from, about where you're going. Everything about you must be truthful. Don't lie to yourself about anything. It's disastrous, as we are going to see as we continue here. So you alone know the truth, and it's truth from within. In other words, you alone know who you are, and you alone know your situation. We might look at you from a distance, and you are dressed well, you talk well, you drive well, you live well. And little will we know, really, that inside of you, there is a person who wants to commit suicide. Inside of you, there's a person who's depressed. Inside of you, there's a child who was sexually molested, and they're still trapped inside because you never dealt with it. In other words, this afternoon, before I want you to look inside of yourself. Look inside of yourself and have an honest conversation with yourself. Yeah. Don't look next door. Before we can try and remove a speck on someone's eye, there's a forest growing in your eye. There's a forest growing in your eye, and you need to realize it and be truthful about it. So I'm asking you, Look inside of yourself. Because what you are really, in reality, the real you is not what we see. What you are looking at right now as you are talking and having this conversation, what you are looking at as you are looking at me is what I'm giving you. And I can give you so well through many years until I master it so well to the point that I end up giving you a picture that is not real about myself. So let's begin here. Who are you? Who are you? What are your problems? What is your background? Where do you come from? Who are your parents? Are you happy with who you are? Are you able to undress, stand in front of a mirror, and love what you're looking at? I mean, not literally undress, but are you able to be vulnerable? Last week, 2 weeks back, when I was talking to the guys, when they called me to prepare this program, I said to them, you guys are asking me to be vulnerable, and I will. Vulnerability is the first step of accepting who you are, of truth, of honesty to yourself. Don't be embarrassed to expose who you are to yourself. Because when you know who you are, then you are able to work on what you want to be. So, first things first, who are you? And this has got nothing to do with your name. This has got nothing to do with your identity. This has got everything to do with your being. Who are you inside? What are you made of? What is it that when you look at yourself, you see? I can give you an example. When I look at myself, a lot comes to mind. I think my self-awareness or my self-consciousness has grown through the years. You guys will not believe when I tell you that I started being confident at grade 11, if not matric. I've always been one who's very shy. I've always been one who's very reserved. I know you guys will struggle to believe this thing, but I've got extreme levels of shyness that I overpower by being talkative, or that I overpower with confidence. I've learned and I've trained myself to say, even though I know that I might be having issues of shyness, when the tire hits the road, I need to be able to perform. No matter how uncomfortable I might feel about the activity. So I'm one who's always been shy. I'm one who's always been, I had a very low self-esteem, and my low self-esteem was created by external factors, to be honest with you. I didn't start telling myself that I've got a big nose. No, somebody else came to me and said, I'm a kalanga. And that hit me. Because I thought I could do something about my nose until I grew up and I discovered, let me appreciate this thing, live with this thing. This thing is powerful. It gives me enough oxygen. Maybe I've got small lungs, so the Lord is trying to balance the equation. I don't know the scientific explanation. You might also be having an issue about a body part that you might be having, or an issue about a handicap of some sort that you might be having. So the first thing that you must do is to accept who you are. So, personally, I had a very low self-esteem. I had a very low self-esteem that I could not even hold a conversation. Worse with a guy. I could not even talk to a cheater. I couldn't do that. Imagine then what would happen if I were to talk to the opposite gender. It was bad. It was really bad until I sat down with myself after years of abuse and after years of being identified. Abantu, they don't hesitate to tell you who you are if you don't know who you are. We are very quick to identify you if you don't have an identity. We can swiftly tell you that you are a loser. We can swiftly tell you that you are not going anywhere, you are a nobody. We can swiftly tell you that you can't. Why? Because we are observing from a distance. We are external. And I've said that the external is not the real. The real is what is inside. The real is what we don't see. The real you is what you are before you sleep at night. You know those 5-10 minutes. Some of us are lucky. 5-10 minutes, I'm gone. No matter how stressed I can be. But there are others who would stay in bed forever, wondering, calculating, commenting, stressing, depressing, planning. And I want to submit to you this afternoon, that is you. That is who you are really. At night, when there is no one, that is who you are. Number two, you are yourself when you're in the toilet. You are yourself when you're in the toilet, because there you cannot deny yourself and your activities. In other words, a person knows themselves best when they are alone. No one will identify you. No one will tell you your strengths. No one will tell you your weaknesses. No one will tell you your capabilities. No one will tell you what you can do and what you can't do, if you don't sit and have a meeting with yourself and identify those things. So, dear friends, let us first appreciate this one thing. The real you is when you are alone, not when you are with us. And if you were to keep quiet for a moment and think about the things that you think about when you are alone, and think about the conversations that you have when you are alone, and think about the things that you do when you are alone, you will discover what a mess of a person you are. Let's be honest. You will discover that no, man, because you're always calculating, you're always missing the point, you're always stressed, you're always so. And that's what I want you to be honest about. Don't pretend for us. Don't pretend for us. Don't act for us. Because actors knock off and they go home and they live their real lives. Abokarabo, and everyone else that you can think of. When they finish acting in generations, they go home and become realistic. What when you want to continue acting even when you are home? And that's what the problem is. That's the honesty that I really want to talk about. You might look at me and say, Faya is this. Faya is confident. Faya is a preacher. Faya can do this. Faya can run and do that. But in the real sense of the word, you might discover that I'm not even capable of doing any of those things. What I'm giving you is acted. I've gotten into someone's shoes, worn them, and walking in them. So here is the first exercise that I want us to go into. Who are you? What is your strength? What are your limitations? If you were to sit down and write about yourself, are you able to be honest and write that I'm a broken little girl who was abused by my father? I'm a broken guy, and there's a baby inside of me, a child, a boy, who's suffering from depression. Not what you give us on Facebook, Batum. Not what you give us on Facebook. Really, what you give us on Facebook is not you. It's not you. That's why we've got filters as well. Because you are able to filter your complexion. If you've got pimples, you're able to remove the pimples. And then when we look at you, we are seeing something totally amazing. While in reality, it's not so. And that's what the problem is. And I think the reason why people want to be seen in a certain way is because of community peer pressures. It's because of community expectations as well. It's because of you wanting to please other people to a certain level. So you are willing to go an extra mile to pretend. You are willing to go an extra mile to show us a picture that is not there. You're even willing to go into debt. Some of us go into debt, that we can't even pay out because there's an image. Actually, I'm talking about image. There's an image that you need to maintain. There is a picture that you have created for us, and you need to maintain it. But truth is, that picture might not be who you are. That picture might not be a true reflection of who you are and of what you are. So if I can challenge you, I would say this week, get a pen and a paper, write down about yourself. What you know about yourself, what you understand about yourself, what you don't like about yourself. Because if you don't do that, then you don't know. You've never taken time to analyze who you are. You're so quick to analyze people. You're so quick to tell us, oh, so and so is depressed. Oh, so and so is going through this because of a status update. No, status update is not a true reflection of a person. People are pretenders. People are actors. People are liars. People hide behind money. They hide their misery behind money. They hide their misery behind education. They hide their misery behind relationships. They hide their misery behind a lot of activities. People are just busy. Because once they keep quiet, then they start thinking about who they are, and they don't want to deal with the realities of who they are. So what do? They become busybodies. They're always up and down, doing this. So that when you keep your mind busy with activity, then you are able to ignore facts about yourself. You are able to ignore realities about yourself. You are able to deceive us. You are able to deceive us, and we're able to as well move along with that picture that you have created for us. So you shall know the truth, and you know that truth from your heart, and that truth that you know shall set you free. And what is the freedom that I'm talking about? It is the freedom to live your life not according to anyone's expectations, not according to anyone's wishes, not according to anyone's formula. But if today you were to make a decision and say, I want to be honest with myself and live a life that I know I should be living, then you'll start having peace. Then you'll start having a peaceful sleep at night because you have accepted your limitations. Now, what limitations can I bring to the fore that I can use as examples of knowing yourself? One issue that I can bring to the fore is sickness. Sickness can be emotional, sickness can be mental, sickness can be physical, or whatever form. And sickness is one easy thing that people deny. People deny that they're sick. And when you deny that you are sick, you're not going to heal. I've had many experiences in my life that have really broken me and left me to pieces. Some of them I was responsible for them. Some of them I was not responsible for them. I was caught in the crossfire. But honestly, for those that I was responsible for, I had to go back and sit down and say, I'm for it. Had you not pretended to be not what you are, you would not have dealt with this problem. Had you accepted that maybe you've got a certain sickness, because some sicknesses cannot be dictated. You are the only one who knows about your mental situation, for an example. You are the only one who knows how depressed you are. If we can have an honest conversation, we can now, let's say, talk about your depression. You're depressed, my brother. You're depressed, my sister. Some of you are even suicidal. You've got a sickness of suicide. Why? Because you are living a life that is acted. You are not honest with yourself. So if you were to sit down and say, you know what? I, Faya, I'm sick. And what I'm suffering from is depression. I've got anxiety. I've got stress. I've been a victim of emotional abuse. You are now listing things that have injured you. You need to start acknowledging that this thing hurts me. But I'll hurt her. That's what we say now in the street. In life here. But I'll hurt her. And if they've hurt you, you need to acknowledge. No, you're going to die. You need to acknowledge that you are injured. You need to acknowledge that you are hurting. You need to acknowledge that you've been destroyed. If you accept that situation, the process of healing begins. I will get a difference. I told you that I'm going to be vulnerable. One scenario. When I left TOC, I didn't live under the best of conditions, you know. I didn't live under the best of conditions, but it was time to go. Oh, but I was hurt, guys. I was hurt to the core. Because that's not what I was looking forward to. I was not expecting it. I was in this world of myself where ministry was going well and things were going well. And then things start crumbling down. All of them just come crumbling down. and they fall down at one. You know, when I left TOC, I lost the house. The car was repossessed. I lost the family. I lost. So I had to be honest with myself about my losses. I was not going to lie to myself and say I've not lost when I've lost. I mean, that would be unfair. Not only to myself, it would be unfair to my children because I'm a father. So when I acknowledge my pain, when I acknowledge my losses, when I acknowledge my suffering, when I acknowledge my shortcomings, I start realizing that, you know what, I'm a human being. I'm not a Superman. I'm allowed to fall. And when I fall, it is an opportunity for me to rise up and to heal. So with that TOC situation, it was very unpalatable. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was depressed when I left the employ of the church because I had never been employed. I've never attended an interview in my life. When I went into TOC and started working for TOC, I was never interviewed. They called me and they said, hey, when you finish your exams, I was still in Solus when I got the call from Pastor Hoop. He says to me, hey, Dov, when you are done with your exams, you've been posted to Taung. I was still in Solusi. Got a job when I was still a student. So when I left TOC, I'd never applied for for a job. I'd never knocked at a boss's office. There was a lot. You will not believe that I didn't have a CV when I left TOC. I had never drafted a CV in my life. And for the first time in my life, I remember sitting down and drafting a CV because the world around me had changed. And I had to be realistic about my situation. That love, you've lost your job here. You've lost your everything here. You need to start afresh. And in starting afresh, you need to do things that you've never done before, like looking for a job. I was actually checking my emails on Thursday. I think, guys, I applied in more than 50 companies. Some of them were schools, some of them were conferences, some of them were NGOs. I applied to more than 50 conferences, and there's only not 50 conferences, 50 companies rather, and some of them were conferences, some of them were just secular companies. But I only got one response. I only got one response from Namibia conference. That's the only conference that gave me a hearing. And during that time, I was depressed, guys, because I was not getting a salary, but expenses had to continue. So I had to be honest with myself. I had to sit myself down and say, Mfana, you have lost it. You've lost this thing, but this is what I need you to understand. You have not lost yourself. You might have lost the opportunity to provide at this moment, but the capabilities for you to continue providing, you still have them, because you went into TOC with your capabilities, and then you came out with your capabilities and your skills, and you can use those to make a living. So I sat and got depressed, but I was not going to pretend. I was not going to pretend that things are okay when I knew that things were not okay. I was not going to stand up and continue running, knowing very well that I've lost everything. So I sat down with myself. That's Bizeli meeting. I really say to myself, Ndwana, job is gone, car is gone, fro is gone, kids are gone, money is gone, some friends are gone, some power is gone. Because there's an element of power in ministry. Some power is gone. Some authority of some sort. Let me rather use that authority, not power, because power sounds very wrong. Let's not use power. Some authority and some opportunities are gone, but I'm not gone. That was the difference. These were gone that I'm listing here, but I was not gone. And I want you to understand that these that I'm listing here, these are things that I once not had. I'm being honest with myself now. There was a moment when I was not an employee of TOC, but I was still myself. There was a moment when I was not having a family, when I was not married, but I was still myself. There was a moment I was not a father, but I was still me. There was a moment when I didn't have a job, a car, a house, a travel allowance, all those things. Those things that I got should not have made me who I am, because I got them because of myself. It's my capabilities and my abilities that allowed me to get those things. So me having lost them, I should not have lost myself. I'm having an honest conversation with myself altogether. And some of you as well, you need to start having this conversation with yourself, because if you don't, you'll be depressed and you'll continue acting as if you are still employed somewhere when you know you're not. Imagine if I continue pretending as if I'm still employed by TOC. I would have to pretend to have a mission house. I would have to pretend to have a salary from the conference. I would have to pretend having church boards that are not there. I would have to. I was going to pretend a lot until I say to myself, "No, you've lost it. It's gone. Don't pretend. Live a realistic life." So some of you might have lost a job. You might have lost a relationship, because that's one thing as well, that when you lose a relationship, it's able to make you lose yourself. It's able to make you start lying to yourself. It's able to make you start fooling yourself. So you need to really, if you could get what I'm saying, have honest conversations with yourself. If you know that you are broken inside, acknowledge that pain. If you know that you are sick, if you know that there is no way into zakho sihlangana ngakhona, akuhlangani at all, and akuhlangani at all because of yourself. Acknowledge that. And mhlawumbe akuhlangani because of other people. So the only thing that I'm really trying to bring across today is self-awareness. Are you aware of your strengths? Are you aware of your limitations? Are you aware of your surrounding? Are you in an environment that allows you to be yourself? Are you not painting a picture for us to see, a facade of some sort, that for instance, you can come and you hide yourself like this, but when you're alone, reality strikes. We now see who you really are. So when you lose, don't lie to yourself. When you have won, don't lie to yourself. When things are going well, don't lie to yourself and think that they'll go well forever. That's an incredible lie. Kunabantu abacabanga ukuthi ngoba into zohamba kahle manje zizohamba kahle forever. There's no way. There's no way. That's a terrible lie. Don't lie to yourself. The truth you can tell yourself is kuhamba kahle manje, and I'm thankful to God for manje, but tomorrow I don't know. Because really, no one knows what tomorrow holds. No one knows what tomorrow holds. So you need to be grateful for now, appreciate the now, and be realistic for the now. Because then if you're not, life is a crisis. Life is a crisis to the point where you will really fall into a serious depression, trying to live a life that you're not living, trying to paint a picture. And these days it's worse to paint pictures because of social media. Yeah, social media is one aspect of our lives that I really appreciate. I'm one who's very active in my social media accounts are quite active. I'm not one who shies away from expressing myself in the social media. But there's a danger there in social media. You are able to pick up your phone, shoot a picture, edit it, and post it, and check it into a place that you've never been to. And go into a situation where you are creating this world for us to see. Until you believe in that world that doesn't exist. Until you believe in that world that doesn't exist, and then depression strikes you. Then depression strikes you because you are living a lie. So guys, be truthful in the social media. Be truthful in the social media. Be truthful to yourself first. So that it becomes unnecessary. So that there's no need, rather, for you to lie to us. Verse 26 that we read. Sorry, verse 36 says, therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. And the Son here, I want you to understand that I cannot really discuss issues of honesty and not talk about spirituality. I can't. Because honesty is an attribute, an aspect of being spiritual. So if you are a spiritual person, It is the assumption that you have got a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I really don't want to go into the debate of the complexion of this Jesus. Come on. Does it really matter though? To some extent, it might to others, it might not to others. But that's not the discussion right here. The discussion here is we are acknowledging that there is a Jesus. Whether it's black or white, we shall see when we get there. For now, it's an assumption. All of us are assuming here and there, getting bits and pieces of evidence to try and cook it together. But the truth of the matter is, if this Jesus sets you free, then you shall be free indeed. If you allow this Jesus in your heart to heal you, that's what this verse says. If you allow Jesus in your heart to heal you, you shall be healed indeed. You shall be free indeed. You shall realize Uguti, the wounds that you have suffered can be repaired if you can submit them to God. But if you are injured and then you keep hiding, you are injured and then you keep hiding, you are injured and then you keep hiding, and then you smile and then you pretend, you are toxic. You are toxic to yourself because you're not even being honest. You're not even detoxing. Some of you don't even have time to detox. You don't have time to take out the negative energies from your system. Why? Because you don't believe that you can be negative. You don't believe that anything negative can come your way. So, dear friends, I want us to have this mindset of saying self-awareness is truthfulness to myself. Self-consciousness can be achieved if I'm realistic about who I am, what I am, where I live, where I come from, who I'm with, who I'm not with. These things even determine who you marry. These things of being truthful to yourself, they determine who you marry. Because in marriage, unfortunately, you'll not be able to pretend forever. You will pretend for a few days and a few months, but as time goes, you get tired. So the best thing you can do right now is stop pretending. Stop pretending to be what you're not. Stop pretending to be having things that you don't have. Stop pretending to be in places that you know you can't be there. You are creating unnecessary expectations for yourself. We as depressor. If you create an unrealistic lifestyle about yourself. I'm ready, dear friends, to entertain questions, comments. Anyone can throw in anything where I've spoken and you feel that you need to throw in something or ask a question. Please feel free. We have about 15 minutes for us to conclude because I think it's an hour, 2:30 to 3:30. Now, I want you to come into the conversation with me to say, number one, for me to realize truth in my life, I need to find a connection with Jesus Christ because he's the one who gives freedom to those who need to be free. And the freedom comes from within, Bagwetu. I'm really trying to stress the point of saying all the resources that are needed to heal you are within. All the resources that are needed to propel you to a future are within. All the resources that are needed to make you have a realistic lifestyle are from you. There's no one outside of you who can channel how you think, who can design a career for you, who can choose a wife for you, who can choose where you stay for you. All those are choices that you make based on who you are. So reality is not what we see. Reality is not what we're looking at. Reality is what we can't see, what we can't touch. It's what you feel inside of your heart. So I'm pleading with you, dear friend, come out from that closet where you're hiding of self-deceit. Come out from that closet where you're hiding of creating an impression. Ufuna usigcwalisela. Sizogcwala sure, but kuzochitheka wena, bra. Sizogcwala sure, sishaya izandla sithi hayi untswembu. But when you get home, you know very well that akunabo untswembu nix. All that was a face that you had to put up so that you can pay bills. That was a face that you had to put up so that you can maintain some friendship. That is a face that you had to put up so that you can maintain being accepted. Futhi siyathanda nje ukuba accepted sinjalo. I don't know why we really enjoy being accepted by other people, but we're failing to accept ourselves. Because the very reason that you are pretending to be what you are not simply means you have not accepted who you are. Unenkinga nawe. And manje ma unenkinga nawe ucabanga uzoshadwa ubani because really we will be. Imagine if you don't even love yourself. It's terrible to love someone who can't love themselves. It's terrible to appreciate someone who can't appreciate themselves. It's extremely dangerous to be in a situation within an environment where there's lies in the mind and there's lies in the act. So, dear friends, this is what I wanted to bring across to us, that be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And I say it in the morning. When a person dies, we can forget them. That's this is what I do. When a person that is my friend on Facebook passes away, I go to their Facebook page, unfriend. If you've got your number, delete, because I don't want to find myself being tempted to call you one day, and then what if there's an answer? So I really want you to understand that when you die, all memory of you is gone. We forget that there was ever a smooth fire. Rather leave behind a true reflection of yourself. Don't leave behind a lie. When you are dead, and then we remain remembering or discussing something that never exists. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself, so that even when you are dead, there's a beacon of truth that remained about you. There's something that you can hold on to say, oh, but there was a man there. Oh, there was a woman there. Oh, that there was a character there. Why? Because you were truthful to yourself and to those around you. May the Lord bless you. I'm ready, my leaders, to entertain questions. I'm ready to entertain comments and discussions for a few minutes until we see where we go.
Well, thank you so much. The hands are already flying, Mfundisi. Yeah. Good deep. Wow. And I'm just thinking to myself, Mfundisi, and just playing the devil's advocate here for a second. The facade is there. It's from the presentation, it seems as though you are a con man, but you're not conning third parties. You're actually conning yourself.
Conning yourself. Yeah.
But now here is an issue, because in conning yourself, many young people want a sense of belonging. Many young people want to be relevant. You started gaining your confidence grade 11, grade 12, more or less. And if we're to ask you, how was your walk before then? And what caused you to become the talkative person, to make up for the confidence that you're lacking? And there were reasons to that. And again, I'm going to give to Emma right now to share whatever that she wishes to share. But I just wanted to throw in a bit of a spanner in the works here. That what do you then do when you're in a position where you know that you're weak? So Ashley is a very, very weak guy. But when he stands on the pulpit, he comes across as being strong. When he interacts with people in the public, he comes across as being a strong person. But those few minutes before he sleeps, or Magapis like the toilet, he knows that he's a weak person. He's so weak that even when he's in the toilet, he struggles to let certain things go. He's just not strong enough. But now, when I know of my weakness and then I expose that weakness to other people, and then it doesn't help me. And in fact, now I'm going to be weak Ashley inside, and then outside I'm also weak Ashley. But whereas when I'm on the inside, I only have myself to deal with. But now when the weak Ashley is exposed on the outside, he then now has to deal with other people as well. But maybe, mine is going to be a subsidiary one. Let's give through to the people coming on into the platform. You can raise your hand through the platform. We're going to unmute you. Ask Mfundisi a question. We can take a couple of hands and then hand it over to him, and then let more hands pop in. It doesn't have to be a question. Even your comments are very welcome. Emma?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sabbath. So mine is just a comment. Thank you so much, Pastor, for bringing up such a very important topic. It's actually a big problem, especially with the youth, because we like to keep up appearances,
Yeah.
The problem is that we concern ourselves a lot about what people think of us.
What people think, yes.
And which is a problem. So I saw something that I found to be profound about 3 weeks ago, which was saying we are a generation of happy photos and very sad lives.
Yeah.
Because we post a lot on social media, we want to portray ourselves as these people that are happy, all things are fine. Our food is not even spared.
Yeah.
We want to show people what we have eaten.
What we have eaten,
that's the level that we are now. So what I just wanted to advise to anyone, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's something also that I saw that was profound 2 weeks ago that said, be careful what you portray on social media, lest you are going to lose opportunities. If you are going to portray yourself and you are not real with yourself and try to show everyone or to try to pretend or act as if everything is fine with you, and all that stuff, people will think, okay, Emma's stuff is fine.
Yeah.
So next time I hear about an opportunity, I'm not going to tell you, boss, I mean, I saw it on your status that, you know, you're living it up. So I'll take that opportunity and give it to someone
Give to
else.
somebody else.
You see, so we need to be careful how we portray our lives. We might lose opportunities because people might think that things are fine with us, yet things are not fine. So that's just what I want to advise. I don't know who needs to hear this, but we need to be careful how we live our lives, lest we lose good opportunities.
When you're talking about opportunities, I'm reminded of that joke that women always write on social media, but sashima sibahle. Sashima kangaka, sibahle kangaka sanashelwa. Opportunities will pass, eh? Opportunities. They will pass. Because maybe nobuhle lobo, it's not the realistic buhle, you know? So I really enjoyed the comment, Yaga Emma, to say you lose opportunities if you put a facade of some sort. I don't know, leader, if there's anyone else. I would really want to go back to the one of saying, if I'm weak, what must happen? I will attend to it though.
All right. Whilst Mfundis is going to be addressing that, guys, please let your hands fly up. We will take your hand. Through the platform, raise your hand. Anybody can raise their hand. We're discussing with Mfundisi manje. Mfundisi, go for it. If hands come through, I'll let you know later on. Khona comments athize lapho esiwafunda futhi after a while.
Okay. Now, I think it's true what you are saying. If I'm weak and I expose myself, then I'm now double weak. Let me tell you about myself. I'm a softie. I'm weak as well. I'm a crybaby. I'm in our anywhere. Today I was sitting in church and I thought about an experience of my life, and I shared it here. And I made sure that nobody sees it. I was realistic to my emotions. I didn't deny my emotion of feeling the pain, because somebody said something in church that I could relate to. And that thing arose a pain in my heart, and I acknowledged it. I acknowledged that weakness. I think the issue is to acknowledge and accept. Lente so, iyangihlula, iyangilimaza. I was actually saying to myself today, you know what? I'm right. I'm hurting. I thought right, honestly. I thought right, but I'm right. Actually, today was one of those Sabbaths where I was not preaching. So I sat down today. And you know, hence I'm saying, because I've been actively involved in God's work, some of my emotions are not acknowledged. Nami ngiyadinga ukuthi ngibe encouraged, because I'm always busy encouraging. So when I sit down and somebody stands up to encourage me, it hits me. It makes me realize that I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I need these words. I need these words. I need this encouragement, so that I can even if no one saw that I was crying today at church, but at least I acknowledged it, to say I'm hurting. This thing is I'm still dealing with this thing. I'm not over this thing. That's the issue that I'm trying to bring across. I'm not over this thing, and I need to acknowledge that when I think about it, it still brings me pain. So that's how I would actually deal with an individual who says I'm weak. I know I'm weak, but why should others know that I'm weak? They don't really have to know. Just be honest with yourself. Like, people didn't know I was crying today at church, but I had a beautiful church service. I will not lie to you. There are moments when I wake up at night and I cry. As tall as I am, I acknowledge zikhona into ezingilimazayo. Kunabantu that I've tried to reach out to and they've pushed me back. Ziyangilimaza lezo zinto. I'm not going to pretend. Iyangilimaza rejection. So I deal about all those things. Iyangilimaza ukuthi I'm not bringing up my kids as I would have loved to. You understand? So those are realities that are there in my life that I've not dealt with fully, but I acknowledge. I think I'm trying to explain it in that way, my leader.
Yo, yes, Mpho, this. Mpho, Mthanzwa, you wanna say something? Okay, let's first. It's it. So we'll go to Mpho. There's two of them. There's Mpho and then there's Gift. Mpho, please go first. Please unmute yourself. Mpho. Okay, I'm going to press the ask to unmute again. Mpho. Okay, there we go.
Okay, good afternoon, people. First of all, I just would like to comment on something very important. We are living in the world where we want to put standards, and yet we are not supposed to even have standards at first. We are all equal in front of God, but because of sin, we want to be unequal. Secondly, what I want to talk about is that for you to be weak, or I would say, there's no one on this world who's not weak. We are all weak because of sin. For you to recognize that when you are in the toilet, you become weak. Why do you recognize that? It's because you are consciously interested in that. And what should you do? You must deal with it. So where I'm going is that I'm not saying we are all powerful and we can deal with the weakness and whatsoever. But what I'm talking about, if once you accept the fact that you are weak, it's going to be easier for you to deal with that. The standards that we put for ourselves in this world is the one that is actually destroying us. We are destroyed because I'm thinking, if I or my weakness can be revealed or can be known, it is the end of my life. It isn't, because end of your life in front of whose eyes? Same people who are weak. Same people who are weak. I liked what Anna has said. Yes, there are platforms where you are not supposed to expose that particular weakness. Okay? There are platforms like social media. I am a CEO of my own company, and I see this vulnerable brother who's actually not constructive when he speaks. Does it mean I'm supposed to judge the brother because of how he expressed himself? No. But there are platforms where you are not supposed to expose the weakness. But there are other platforms where your weakness should be known in order for me, Mpho, to be able to know how to deal with you. Just imagine a brother who's power hungry and is said to be a church elder. What's going to happen?
Disaster.
Disaster. A brother who's power hungry, who is going to Solusi or Heidelberg and end up being a pastor. Just to being a pastor, you are on another level. But by the time you get to Solusi, you have arrived, or to Heidelberg, you arrived there with that standard that you do have, a power hungry. So you're going to have double of that. And you end up dealing with certain souls. When you become, I'm going to just roughly make an example, a president in the conference. No one will ever listen. You will never listen to anybody else. It is your word or highway. Because such people come with what I call, we are in a month of mental health. You may be a pastor, but not being in a mental health hospital, but you are sick because you do not allow to be corrected. You do not allow to be shown certain mistakes. Look, you do not allow your weakness to be revealed to us. So these are the standards that we are putting in front of us, of which we are not supposed to have that. If Zbu is having his weakness of, he's my friend, I'm going to say it as I want to say it. If you have a weakness of speaking your mind, and somebody thinks that, okay, for Zbu to be frank about a certain thing, my sister, your dress today is short. It doesn't mean that you are pervert, you're looking at that lady. You're trying to correct that. So, but the lady is going to interpret it wrongly, because we are living in the world where that short dress can cause the brother, another brother, weakness to be revealed. But if you are corrected and you accept your fault, it is easier for this world to say, we are all human. We are all, that's why the Bible has said, we are all short of the glory of God. If we actually take that verse into cognizance, we will understand. Even the brother who's holding the Bible, every Sabbath there's a preacher and quoting this and knowing Ellen G. White, the patriarch and prophet and so forth, and quoting all these things. And the brother tomorrow is on Sunday. He wakes up in a dormitories of the girls or somewhere. Look here. He is weak. He is human. You are not perfect. So the only perfect person who was in this world is that Jesus that we are waiting to see his complexion in future. But for so long, hold on to the one that you were taught of, if you see that it is good for you, just like Zbu has said. So that is actually what I'm saying. Your weakness doesn't mean you have failed. Your weakness means you should be able to identify where you should exercise that. My brother, you're sitting to your friend there, but I want to believe that you cannot be in one room if your friend doesn't know your weakness. What if your weakness is anger? What if your weakness is short temper? You understand what I mean? So let me give others a chance. Your weakness is not a failure in life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Some proverbial points there. Gift and Ash.
Hi, it's Ashley actually wanted to speak. I like what Sbu spoke about, like thing about being true to self. I've seen, and since we're in a youth platform, like with my friends, you find that when they get into a relationship, they end up not being true to themselves. They want to please the next person. For example, if when I was dating Gift, and then I want to be the image, the ideal girlfriend that Gift wants in his life, I'm not being true to myself. So me trying to pretend to be that person, so that Gift can like me more, it makes you losing who you really are. If Gift would say, I'll be very real. If Gift, let's say we're dating, and then he tells me, Ashley, I need your naked pictures, because I'm trying to be that person that Gift wants me to be, I'll easily go and send those pictures because I'm trying to be that image that Gift wants me to be. So it's also, I like what Faya said. Being true to self is something that we should have a meeting with. Some questions we need to ask ourselves, because even in relationships, it's you, others, you, relationships, you, family, as my husband told me earlier on, it's like being true to self. So if you're gonna enter that relationship, you mustn't come in a point of saying, okay, I'm here. What do you want me to be? I'm a cabbage, but I can be a tomato for you. Like this movie that we Coming to America, the first one, where the prince was supposed to marry the princess, and he was like, bark, and she would bark, do this, and she would do that. She was not being true to herself. She wanted to imitate what the other person should be. Even in society, us ladies would like to put a lot of filters just to impress the next person, to get the ideal guy. But what about you? What will the guy like you for? Who are you? So that we meet each other halfway. Stop being someone that you're not. You want to be someone that person will be, that you will climb mountains just to be that person. Thank you.
Thanks, Ash. Say you reach a point where you just reflect off other people's thoughts. And Faya is a machida, especially in the initial stages of asking a girl out.
Hey,
we
man.
Create impressions and standards that we can never
Thank you so much, Ash. Thank you to Sbu and to everyone on the platform. I've been hearing the comments and I've been sitting here and asking myself many questions about who I am, apart from my name being Mtandas. And then I concluded to myself a couple of things. Number one, let's not underestimate the power of being dishonest. Relationships are made, initiated, maintained, and can't lead to marriage from the basis of dishonest. Jobs are gotten, maintained, positions held, and uplifted from positions of of dishonesty. Dishonesty sells. It's marketable. Nobody wants the real you. No one wants the real you. Nobody wants to deal with the real raw person that you are. And that's the problem with the world that we find ourselves in. That we live in a world where we need to succumb to standards. Because once you expose yourself for who you are, you lose out on almost everything. That being said, then it means the strongest of them all amongst us is the one who is able to be raw and truthful to him or herself. That one wins the cup. Because the world will never get. Somebody talked about what if your weakness is anger. Oh, but I talked about being a softie. Imagine you want to ask a girl out right now. Hello, Kalai. Makala. You know? So you're looking at the fact that what you have as a weakness is not marketable at all. So now you need to look like you are what is marketable, because the world will not care about that. And the church, therefore, must bring a platform whereby my truest me can be exposed. Because we become unsavable if we are still trying to lie to Jesus that we are not that bad, since we don't smoke, we don't drink, and we don't eat meat. So we're not that bad in comparison to others. Yet to the core of our being, we are some of the most evil people that the world has ever seen. So the church must find a way or a platform, whether it's through programs, it's through preaching, through interactions, whereby the platform to be who you are is exposed. Because sometimes even in the very church itself, we are unable to be true to who we are. The basic foundation, or the basic thing that brings us all together now, is because we're sinners. But in the place of sinners, still, we try to outdo ourselves and try to act saintly in that particular moment. So the church must honestly try to make sure that we are kept as raw and as honest as possible. And even as friends, let's be able to tell each other the truth, but to be honest with each other. And I think, just to conclude this, Brother Ashley, is you can only be safely raw and honest with yourself in an atmosphere of love.
That's what I wanted to say, actually.
The fear of being judged is already flying out of the window in an atmosphere of love. So you can be who you are. And the best place and the best person to be who you are is in front of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, who knows us for who we are and what we can never be.
Bundis, let's give it to you. Ne? We've got, after, just throw it back to you. Where after we're going to do it in the following fashion. Bongi, Guzo, and then Emma. Bongi, Guzo, and then Emma. Emma, tell me if it's you that's commenting or if it's Jerome. If it's Jerome, then we're going to start with you. Okay, no, so it's you, Emma. Okay, so we're going to continue that way. Bongi, Guzo, and then we're going to go to Emma. Please keep the hands flying. Let's keep the discussion flowing. Bundis.
Emma touched on mental health. Ooh, guys, mental health doesn't mean mentally disturbed. Mental health is broad. And we've got a lot of people that are not healthy mentally. And it doesn't mean that their case is for Sterkfontein. Not at all. Mental health is you acknowledging, if I cross this line, I know something is bound to happen. You know your limits. You know what breaks you. I mean, there are places that I know I don't go anymore, because if I go there, it will break me mentally. And I think, I really praise God, because Ukulawami made me to be very strong mentally. I'm one of the strongest people that you can find because of troubles, and at the same time, very weak. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm easily hurt. I'm extremely sensitive. I'm extremely sensitive. But I'm trying to say all those things, I've actually managed to turn my weaknesses into my positives. My weaknesses are the ones that I use as stepping stone to climb up. My mental problems are the ones that I use as stepping stone to make decisions about myself. And another issue that she raised is pretense. I can actually tell you that I think people who pretend the most are married people. I think many people pretend more than anyone else. They're not true to themselves. And they're not true to us as well at times. Because a couple can live ekhaya bengakhulumisani bexabene belale bengakhulumisani on Friday evening, and on Sabbath kusenkonzweni uwife busy neplate, hubby, baby, love, kudliwa lunch, babengena emotweni abakhulumisani futhi. You know, I've dealt with such cases, you know, where people really pretend in front of us, but inside of them there is a tsunami. And the last one, that you are raising, the environment that you are in, is the one that can make you comfortable in being vulnerable. A friendly, non-judgmental environment can actually make you throw down the guard and open up. So, we need many of those platforms. We actually, when allow ourselves there, a safe place for somebody else. Okay, in other words, are you safe? Am I able to come and open up to you, Ashley and Mta, about my deepest and worst circumstances in life? Am I able to come and open up to you, gents? And when I leave, I know that my conversation is safe. I know that the advice that I got was not biased. And I know that even when I'm going forward with my life, you guys are not going to use what I said to you about myself against me. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. So I really wish we can create an environment. Every one of us must be a center of helping other people to offload. Baphethe abantu bakhathele, guys. Bakhathele abantu bathwele. And you can be an environment for people to come and offload. And then you are helping them to overcome some of their weaknesses. I think we can take some of those comments.
Bongi.
Okay, thank you, Pastor, for the very sensitive and important topic that you came up with. I have a question. I don't know if it's a question in the comment or it's just questions, but I'm gonna ask anyway. So when you started, you mentioned, you spoke about approaching a little girl or a little guy in you who is crying for help, right? So you mentioned that maybe when that person was growing up, they were abused, maybe emotionally or physically. And then it happened that you grow up, yes, you will grow. And when you grow, that person will still be crying for help inside you. So if I approach that child in me, then what? Okay, fine, maybe she was abused or he was abused. I approach it to say, okay, this is what happened to you when you were growing up. Now I'm old, but you are still there. You are still troubling me. What do you want me to do for you? How do I help her? Or how do I help him? When you grow up, some parents will tell you, when you are dumb, when you grow up, you're not gonna make it, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, right? And then you mentioned having a board meeting with yourself to say, okay, when you grow up, they say to you, you are going to be this, you are going to be that, but this is not who you are. But then that person still needs help. They're still crying for help in you. And then my second question is, Ashley mentioned something to say, what if I'm a vulnerable person? How do I be truthful with Ubongi to say, okay, Bongi, you are a fragile person, but how do I protect her? Okay, I'm being truthful to her, but I'm trying to protect her from the world, because the world will take advantage of that. You are vulnerable, you are fragile, fine, I'm accepting that, but then how do I protect her from the world? Because obviously they'll take advantage of that. You are weak. If you are showing them that you are weak, because you are weak. So how do I be truthful with myself and I protect myself at the same time? Thank you.
Okay.
Uzo.
Thank you.
Thank you, 230 Conversations, for the beautiful program and the powerful insights from Faya there. I feel we shouldn't lose the questions that Ubongi is raising, though. I would have been comfortable to speak after they've been addressed. I don't know how you feel, Mr. Host, so that we don't lose them.
No, I wrote them down.
Okay.
How do I heal and how do I protect myself?
Okay.
So should I deal with them now?
I think Ukuze has fallen off.
Yeah, I think
On
he's
him
fallen
board.
off. Yeah. Check him out.
Let me just check him. No,
He's
no,
still
he's still
there.
here. You muted.
Okay, let him talk.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What I'm just going to share briefly, shortly, is what I wished I had known earlier on in my life. So I'm just going to share it as I have perhaps processed it in my a little more senior years, particularly with regards to being yourself and understanding the object of relationships, really, because that is where we tend to monopolize hypocrisy a lot, in the space of relationships and trying to fit in. The objective of a relationship is not marriage. It's evaluation. In that context, marriage is only a prospect. So when you get into a relationship and things don't work out and the relationship fails, that relationship has been successful, because the objective of that relationship was to evaluate the viability and the feasibility of this union. And the relationship has been so effective that it revealed that you are not compatible. And therefore the deliverables of that relationship are achieved. And then it works. Now, that's where we make a lot of mistakes. You get into a process that is aimed at evaluating. You evaluate, you get the outcomes of the evaluation that, no, this thing is not working. But then you continue in that vehicle. Uhlalele abantwana in a courtship. So, as young people, we need to hear this, I don't know how many times. The objective of a relationship is not marriage, it's evaluation.
No.
Now,
No.
having said that, there are a lot of so-called successful marriages that have come out of failed courtships. In other words, certain marriages have only seen the light of day just for being called a marriage because the courtship failed. In other words, the courtship was so poor in its coefficiency, I mean, in the coefficient of honesty and transparency, that these people thought they were so compatible to an extent that they actually even got married. That is a travesty of what relationships are about. Now, there are certain marriage prospects that have failed because of successful courtships. And by the way, the moment you get into a relationship, or marriage, you are officially reducing your capacity and voluntarily reducing or surrendering your capacity for objectivity. It's easy for me to say what I'm saying, but I would need my friends to be saying this to me, because it's easy for me to project it on 230 conversations. It's what I'm doing right now is academic. By virtue of being in a relationship, by virtue of being married, I am officially blindfolded, voluntarily and deliberately. That's why we need to be honest with ourselves and surround ourselves with honest people. So I thought we needed to exercise that bit of mental hygiene about relationships, mental hygiene about ourselves. Remember, your vibe determines your tribe. So be raw, be honest with yourself, and surround yourself with similar people. Thank you.
Evaluator bazalwane, ask Joel si evaluator.
Ukuku needs to give us a rubric, man, where we can see,
you need time. You need time with Kuku, man. You make an appointment with Kuku.
I've got 3 hands, ne?
No, let them go first, then I'll come.
Okay. Yeah. Emma?
Okay, now it's tough for me to say anything after what Gugu has said right there. It's tough. because I feel like whatever I'm going to say, it won't make much sense. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that we have a problem also with our society on what their expectations are. You know, most societies, they don't understand different temperaments or different personalities in people. I'll give you a simple illustration. I liked what Pastor Sfu said. There's, like, for instance, with me, I grew up as a talkative child, right? And when you grow up as a talkative child, I grew up in a family where being talkative meant that I'm naughty, you know, whereby the ones that were quiet and reserved were the good children. If you are talkative, then it means you are naughty, you see? And then it affected me for a while as well. Then I ended up telling myself, you know what? Even if, boss, you start feeling bad for talking too much and you think it's something wrong, but that's who you are. That's your personality. Then I told myself, if I'm going to be talkative, I'm going to be talkative, but in good things. You see, that's why you see I talk too much. But I told myself, this is who I am. I'm a talkative person. So I'm going to utilize my talking, I'll use it to my advantage. And then there's something that my father told me. There's a story, some of you might know it, some might not know it, but there's a story that my father told me that boosted my my self-esteem. And that's a principle that I live by, even up to now. Let's face it, whether we like it or not, everyone has got an opinion. We are all opinionated in our own way. There's a way that I expect Umta or Ashley to handle themselves. There's a way that I expect, there's a way Umta expects Ashley to handle himself. There's a way Usbu, you know, expects Ashley to handle it. But now, here's the story. The story goes, a father and the son are going to the market with a donkey to sell the donkey. They are walking. They pass a group of people, and that group of people says to them, look at this, these two people. They are walking with a donkey. It's a form of transportation. Why are they not utilizing it? You know? So they looked at each other. They're like, but it's a point. Then the father says to the son, you can ride on the donkey. We go. As they were walking and they were going, they got to another group of people. And then the people are like, look at that disrespectful son. Why is he riding on a donkey when an elderly person is walking? That's disrespectful. So they switched. And then the father rode the donkey and the son started walking. They got to another group of people, and those people were like, look at that disrespectful father. How can an adult be on a donkey while a poor child is walking? You see? So they were like, no, the only way we can solve this, let's ride the donkey together. They got to another group of people, and those people were like, how? Such cruel people, burdening this poor donkey, two people. I think now you get the gist of what I'm saying. The gist is, if you are going to live your life trying to make everyone happy, you will never be able to please everyone. So the best thing that you can be is be true to yourself and do what's right for you, because everyone will always have their own opinion on how they expect you to do certain things. So being honest to self is very important. And no one cares. Everyone has got their own flaws. They've got their own problems. So why should you worry about them? The best thing you can do is be the best version of yourself and keep on striving to be better by the day. Otherwise, if you're going to worry yourself about what people think about you, you'll never be able to please anyone. And when you get to your deathbed, if you have a chance, you're going to live to regret that you lived your life to please other people, yet you didn't live your own life. And then God will ask you, what did you do with the life that I gave you? Dololo, I was trying to please people. So there's no point of having regrets in life. Live your life. What people think, that's their opinion. They're entitled to it, but live your life. Because no one is going to buy you milimu in your house. Those people, they don't even buy you. Those people don't even buy you milimu or salt in your house, you know, at the end of the day. So if the people don't feed you, why do their opinions mean anything to you? So this is just what I wanted to say.
Siyabonga, Emma. We had two hands, Usibisi, Talent Spisi and Zintle, but I think they've fallen off. If you guys still have something to say, you can feel free to raise your hand as we continue. Mfura.
Yes. Now, Ubongi raises something that is very important. She says, if I acknowledge Uguti, there's a weak boy inside of me, and then what? Bongi, I was sexually abused by a helper, auntie, mamncane, actually, yeah, mamncane. But we used to call her auntie because she was a helper, a kaya. That woman raped me around when I was 9, 10, about 4 or 5 times. It was a terrible experience, guys. It was a terrible experience. Because when it was happening, I didn't think it's wrong. I thought, wow, are you telling me you could sing levels? I really thought it's levels. But little did I understand. That thing created in me hatred for women that was unbearable. I could not stand women. Could not even stand my own mother for some time. And as I grew older, I saw women as an object to inflict my pain and revenge on. And I've apologized to those that have done that to blind. But I'm trying to say to you, had I not sat down and acknowledged I'll still be hating women even now. Had I not sat down and said, you know what, I was abused by this woman. She was older than me. I didn't give her a right to sleep with me for those 4 or 5 times. I was scared to tell anyone about it because she threatened me, and I thought maybe it's going to backfire. No one was going to believe me. So I had to sit down and replay that conversation I had with her, because she didn't rape me, honestly. She came and she did what she did, and I didn't resist. So in the true sense, I participated. Though I was young, I was a minor, I didn't know what I was doing. And as years went by, young affected, young limas, until I'm a small child who's injured inside. And the reason I'm injured is because I was abused. And because I was abused, what am I doing now to get over it? I'm hating other women. Is it helping? No, it's not. So what must I do? Go and get counseling. I went for counseling. Took out money, paid for counseling. I had medical aid from TOC at that time because this thing affected me 2010. Imagine I'm done at Solusi. I'm starting to work. I want to get married. And then I'm starting to have these minds of anger and evil towards women until I got to the point of counseling. So I'm trying to say, when you first acknowledge you are weak, that's not the end. Go a step further and look for help. Now, how do you protect yourself? You protect yourself by looking for help. You protect yourself as well by not allowing abantu to you know, I don't know if I can call it reverse psychology. What I started to do, because I had a low self-esteem, ngaqala ngazigwara. Ukubona umuntu azigwara. Ngaqala ngazigwara ukuze laba bazama ukungigwara bathole vele ammunition abantu bazosebenzisa sengisebenzisile mina. So that I can weaken the points that they were using against me. So I protected myself by being very vulnerable, by changing my mindset towards what they were saying to me, and by starting to laugh about it. Until they ended up not having effect. Yakumbula, one guy used to call me Ngulube, bruh. I don't know why that guy was calling me Ngulube. Until really I embraced it, and until it lost value. It went away. I regained myself. So I'm trying to say some of those things are what are happening. Then Google and evaluation. Hey, Google is opening. We need Google for a session, man. No, we need Google for a session because what is bringing across is extremely important. Because in relationships, there's no guarantee. So chance. We are testing the ground. Really, it's a disfavor to yourself. Almost every relationship it's going to the altar. Blind. But go in as an evaluator, as a participant, but be honest. As you're evaluating, be honest. Be honest, because you'll be asking yourself, am I compatible with this person? Is this person able to fit in with my family? Am I able to share Lomuntu nabo sis bami, nabo put bami, and they relate well? Because those are important questions that you need to ask when you're entering into a commitment. How is this person using money? So it's really an evaluation. I think I fully agree with him. Well, it's as if you must have a pen and a paper, write what you want, and compare. If Lomuntu uyafika ngayi. If akafiki ngayi, ngivalela ngaphandle. I think that's what I would really want to respond to. I don't know if there's anything I left out.
Khona uzike lana emfundisi who the vaccine at yena, that's why I'm insured by Outsurance.
Yeah, no, you need to be assured. Yeah, you need to be assured by a company. But our hair.
Yeah.
And that's next week's topic.
That's next week's topic, guys.
Guys, we will be watching. No, I'm telling you, it's deadly. It's deadly because one mistake, you will pretend to be what you're not for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've come. Zinhle wants to ask something?
Yeah, but you can go ahead, finish your point, and I should come in.
No, I'm trying to say, when it comes to issues of relationships, the best thing you can do to yourself is be yourself. Don't even use material to advance your way. Be yourself. I'll give you a tip. They melt. Shanga ma-joke 3-4 nyana. Angakhulumi ngemali, angakhulumi ngomsebenzi. Why? Because I'm being myself. But if you put forward an image that is not there, to maintain it. So evaluation is important. Really, we need to have an evaluation form, my thought.
Kuzo, Zinhle, over to you, ma'am.
Afternoon, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Quite an interesting topic, which needs more time.
Yeah.
I wanted to add on the issue of getting into a sync to some point with the small zinhle omncane nozinhle osemdalo manje. Ukuthi it is needed that the traumas that one goes through esasemncane, deal with them even through counseling as one of the tools that one can use. Because the small zinhle will never keep quiet of the hurts that she got when she was young. So she will always have a word or two that will remind you of what happened in the past. And those reminders will affect your adulthood. So counseling is not for the counseling ayiyona i-counseling yomuntu wonke iyadingeka ngempela. Quite a lot that the society also infiltrates into our minds. For example, ingane encane iyakwazi ukudlala mhlawumbe ingane eyintombazane idlale mhlawumbe the teddy bear of some sort, and that would trigger the issue of one achieving towards maybe marriage mangabe esemdala, which is not necessarily the issue or the achievement. Marriage is not achievement at all. So there are some things that as a society we infiltrate or we put into the minds of ingane zisasencane, which affects the child also whenever some things are not done according to what the society was infiltrating in Bantu. So counseling is necessary, balancing ingane uzinhle isasemncane ingane nozinhle osekhulile manje is needed. That balance comes through counseling in most cases.
Siyabonga Zinhle. Sharon, Mrs. Mlilo.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, the weather is a bit up and down here in Mpumalanga, so I thought maybe my audio won't be that much. But the previous speaker has taken half of what I wanted to say. We normally say we should break generational what, don't, and all that. I wanted to speak on the level of kids or our young brothers and sisters that are still growing up. Let's not, as a Black society, push them into not expressing who they are, because that is where, Tina, we got it from. We grew up in society where you are supposed to boldly, as Emma was saying, what you really are. As a result, people are not honest with who they are. They want to be what society wants them to be. So we will be killing our kids, Tina, who are young adults, if we don't allow them to be who they are while they're still young. It will help us also in parenting, which when they come to the teenage years, they are honest with themselves, and we know what we are dealing with because they are out there, they are not bottling themselves in. So that is the point that I wanted to put across.
Thank you so much. We're going to take Ubongi as our last hand, but if you are pressed and you feel that there's something that you want to say, feel free to raise your hand. So I'm going to listen to Ubongi. I'll read through the comment section, see what's popping in there, and then we're going to hand it over to Umfundisi to give us the deliverables and then sum up this afternoon for us. Bongi?
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you to Umfundisi for opening up. I believe obviously all of us who are broken here, our brokenness may be different, but I believe that everyone here is broken. So let's just seek for help, especially my daughter. They don't really open up. So when you are broken, whatever comes your way, you will destroy it because you are broken yourself. And then I think the reason why my relationships with lasty or fail most of the times is because everyone ufuna acceptance. Ufuna acceptance, guy and I ufuna accept. So who is going to accept who? Because all of us are broken. Nothing good will come out of that. So let's just seek help. Thank you.
Thank you, Bongi. Thank you so much for that. Talent? Okay, let's try that again. Talent?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, I know. Today's topic, Ishaya Konimpel. Well, Kumina, my question was, I think it was answered, partly answered, with regards to the facade and all of that stuff. Because now Mfundisi mentioned that one needs to have a meeting with themselves. Because now, and then brother, I think he spoke about the depth and the seriousness of dishonesty. One might say, okay, fine, I'm having a meeting with myself right now. But then you might still be dishonest with yourself in a way, because you might not know how far you have been dishonest with yourself. Like as uniformity, as growing up at church, they used to applaud yo, right. And you'd find that as we grow up, people started falling behind. Yeah, but people started falling off, and then we are all amazed with how we are preaching with you last month, but this month you are drinking like we have never drunk before. Yeah, but we are so impressed by the fact that we are so alike. We preached together. We used to go attend Nama seminars, and we used to like share and say Unkulunkulu is powerful. But then in a twinkling of an eye, a person just stops going to church, start doing his thing that we have never even imagined. And then you see it's not that Umuntu was repented in a way, but they were hiding within this uniformity or this idea of uniformity in the church. And Abanebets who have even gotten married and we are happily married, but then you start asking yourself, did or did she just marry a facade that I've been maintaining all of these years? So my question was that, how do you reach a point where you are saying, okay, fine, I'm having a meeting with myself and I'm not going to lie to myself, or must you seek help from someone else, or like what is the process in that manner, because even if you do have a meeting with yourself, I don't want to be long. You have a meeting with yourself, but then how do you find, like, reach a point where you're saying, okay, fine, this is the real me, yeah, but before anything else, putting aside in cons or putting aside work and friends and everything, culture aside, this is me. Yeah, so it's coming across kahle yini, iyazwakala yini. Yeah, and then also with regards to it is honesty, you find I'm able to blend. When I'm with Amajid, I'm blending. When I'm at work, I'm blending with abantu bakhona. When I'm at church, I'm blending. And even lento ye-corona, like COVID-19, it has exploited izinto eziningi that we're not even aware of. Us not going to church, you being alone with yourself, you become very uncomfortable of being alone because you are so used to being around people. You have lost that identity of being able to enjoy your own space, because you feel a bit hungry, you feel depressed, you feel incomplete because you are used to being around people that corona made it so difficult. So I don't know if I'm being clear in
Yeah.
and there are a lot of questions going through my mind, but the biggest one, the major one is that how does one sit down with themselves and then being honest with themselves, honestly, without using the acting and the facade and everything else. I know some will say we need to pray about it, because sometimes we even pray, even our prayers now, we act them out because they are aligned with what we are at that particular moment. We are born to learn. Even you can call me, we can share, and I will share, and you like, hey, what's wrong with this talent? But that might not be me. And after that, the website, maybe report. After sharing, I'm just making an example. How does one really identify with, okay, this is me? Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah. I think that was loud and clear. Let me read a few comments and then, okay, there we go. Nalwa?
Hi, everyone. I think, can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I just say, the guy who just asked a question just now, Guti, how do you get to that point, where you recognize that you're not being real with yourself, and then what do you do after that? For me, it was a personal and a true story for me, something that happened to me. I was living that life where, people expect certain things from you, and you just go with the flow, and you go with the flow until life happens, like real life happens. There's not one particular point in my life where I say, I did this and then that happened. Life just happened, and you get to a point where, you are facing the reality right in front of you, or the reality is facing you. And you can't escape it anymore. You can't escape it anymore. It's either you are sinking or you are swimming, you are dealing with it, or you are taking a rope and going to a tree. You know what I mean? And I think for me, I want to thank God for that period in my life, because if that hadn't happened, I think I would still be in my first marriage. I'd still be going with the flow. I'd still be thinking everything is hunky-dory. But like Kuspo said, at night, you pull the blanket over yourself, and you have that one-on-one with yourself, and you are saying, but why am I living this life? Why am I in this space where I'm absolutely unhappy, in my personal space, but with everybody else, I have to smile, where I'm absolutely unhappy when I'm on my own. But even with my family, my mother, my father, I have to smile and pretend like everything is nice, everything is good. That is when, life has brought you to your knees, and life has brought you to a point where you say, I need to be truthful with myself. There's nobody who can come to you and say, be truthful. There's no formula. I think for me, there's no formula. Life brings you to that point. And I'm grateful for that experience in my life, for those 4 or 5 years where I was on my knees, where I lost everything, where I had to rebuild from scratch, where I had to ask myself the serious questions like, what is it really from my life? What is it really that, what's my purpose? Do I really want to continue living? And if I do want to continue living, how do I want to continue living? You know, how am I picking up and moving forward? And if I am picking up and moving forward, I really need to be absolutely and totally happy in my space, regardless of what society says, regardless of what people say. You know, fine, we can brush on the surface and say we take pictures with filters and stuff. That's only on the surface. But when you go deeper inside in your heart of hearts and you really start thinking, this marriage that I'm in, am I really in it because it's making me happy? Am I in it because it's fulfilling me? Am I in it because, or am I in it because it makes life in general easy? You know, I don't have to deal with all of that. But, you know, at the end of the day, what is happening inside your heart when you are alone in a dark room and the door is closed, that is the most important thing. That's it. You know, there's no formula. Life happens.
Yo, next, some powerful stuff. I think that's another participant that we need to have a session with school. It seems like there's a lot more that can be shared from there. Skumbuzo, these hands keep coming up. Let me know how you want me to manage it.
No, let them come. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Who do I have now? Okay, Skumbuzo.
Someone.
Yeah,
no, I'm seeing two gentlemen there. I'm not sure whether this is being honest to self. So would he send Pume out of the closet? It's good. We know it. I know.
Go ahead. No. It's Kumbuzo. Yeah, Sebuzo. Just try again.
No, I was just saying it's good to we know umtano Ashley is keeper, you know. We won't judge you. Maybe we'll help you.
Yeah, that's why network ya keep better.
Okay.
I don't know.
No,
do you have a comment? You just wanted to joke around. Is there something else in network? Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
Oh yeah, that was my first comment. My second comment is last week I was doing this Intole. I was practicing on excavator. I don't know if some of you know the excavator. Now, the excavator that I knew then, it had 4 joysticks. So I would tell if I wanted to move forward, I must touch that one and that one. But last week I entered a new one, which had only two joysticks, but they have the same functions. And then I did not know what to do. If I'm pressing, which side should I press it to do what? Now they had to teach me to understand that machine, how it works, so that I can operate it. Now, coming to this discussion, I see that like the effort I put just to understand that machine, it's way less than the effort I put to understand myself. You know, in order for me to understand me, I should study me, so that when I start being honest with me, I must know that if Umta says, Skumbuzo uya woman, how do I react to that? You know, and once I understand how I operate me as an individual, it's going to help me to become a better person, even in the church. Like for an example, you guys, you are preachers. You understand the first thing that you understand about yourself is that you can speak publicly in front of the people without any shyness. you know. So if we can put effort, I guess my point is that, like, if we can put effort in understanding ourselves, it's going to help us to even avoid some of the heartbreaks that we're going through. You know, have you seen we get we get heartbroken because we don't understand ourselves, and we went for people that don't match us, but they will only hurt us. But once you understand what you want, what you are, you will be able to go for what will match you instead of what you will meet with. I guess I'm making.
Thank you, Scoop. Tumelo. Is Tumelo still here? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to make a point. I joined late, sorry. I just wanted to make a point on why so many things are not working out, especially when it comes to relationships, like how we're discussing. I feel like, especially when broken comes with broken, they think they can make a whole relationship. And in most cases, broken needs to first evaluate and seek help to kind of remedy the brokenness before they can both come through and make one whole unit. It's almost like that analogy of a cup that's overflowing is able to overflow to structures below or underneath or around them. And without that, you're unable to actually move forward. You can't give what you don't have. And if you don't have healing, you are not able to give love that is free and that is healing. So to me, it's find the healing for yourself first, and then you're able to heal others with your love. I don't know, but that's just me. Thank you.
Thank you. Amen. Sebo. Gift and Ash.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the discussion. I'm just I'm just thinking, man, you know. many people actually probably are diverting from what Fundisi's presentation was all about. For me, really, I think it's an intelligent conversation that is started. I think it's things that we need to be honesty with ourselves. Just asking yourself, who is this you? You know, what is this all about? And of course, it has got a lot of elements, a lot of aspects that doesn't concern you. So I'm seeing many people are now more interested on touching the elements that is not you, that is others. I just want to sum up probably for those that were not here or that didn't hear Mfundis. Mfundis said, introspect the you part first before you can add others. We know this is a complex. This topic is big, guys. We need to probably give Mfundis another time for him to talk more, because check this out. How complex this topic is. There's you versus the world. There's you versus sin. There's you versus yourself. And then there's you versus God. There's you versus the devil. Then there's you versus the societal standards. And then there is also you versus your friends, you versus your own marriage. We are still dealing about you here. So this topic, guys, it might take days for us to actually go through it. But the part that I was happy about is check that inner self, that inner person, and see who that guy is, and then deal with him. That's what I'm saying. A lot of questions could be coming, but these questions, don't direct them out, direct them to you, and then deal with those. And I hope many marriages are safe from Fundis with your topic. Thank you for your time.
Amen. We need to call that's Brother Gift. They're summarizing it for us. He's going to be one of our speakers as well. You'll see on the posters. It's coming up. Yeah, I think he's summarizing, the key points that Mfundisi was sharing. And that is essentially to call a board meeting. We need to have some resolutions signed, but that board meeting, the quorum is only going to be met after you are in attendance. And okay, Mfundisi, here are the comments. I'm just going to see, to read through the, if just there's a highlights or something, because there's just so many of them. The vaccine, I don't know which one is it, if it's AstraZeneca or it's J&J, but the vaccine says, after acknowledging your sicknesses, you must also be willing to accept the fact that some people will reject the real you. Hey. So make peace with the fact that after you've acknowledged your sickness and people become exposed to the real you, some people will reject. Mfundisi, I suppose it is better to have the real you rejected than the fake you accepted. Hey. I think the vaccine was also commenting on you, Mfundisi. You said earlier that after you had left the employ of the TOC and they had to draft a CV, she says the pain of sending 100 emails and we regret to inform you. And Unalwa says that I can relate to losing everything. Hey, Asa and Anna say, why do I relate to this? Job hunting is painful. And there's some crying faces there. And then Tandy says, speak to yourself as much as you can. Be true to yourself. Uzintle comes through and says, introspection is very important and necessary. Notando Siziba says, it is important to have a board meeting with yourself. Yeah, that is it. The Jerome agreeing and says, I concur. That's deep board meeting with yourself. The vaccine comes back. The vaccine is being, it's being distributed. The vaccine is busy today. It's being distributed at a large scale. Comes in again and says, don't get sucked in by social media. We are there to post the good times. Like, in fact, she's not taking herself out. She's putting, it says, we are there. And I don't know why I'm concluding that it's a her, but okay. Uzinta says, bring to life that which you sweep under the carpet before it exposes itself. Okay. Umkilichi says, fire is on fire. You can pretend forever. That's Notando Siziba. And then here also Jerome says, men of God, you're speaking from your heart, Siabonga. And then someone quoting there, if you came in late, open quotes, says Otwana, close quotes, not under the hey, will be. Gift and Ash, powerful Mfundisi, yeah. Our questions are going to but mainly this is okay, let's see. A lot of people just concurring with the pastor. There we go. Another thing about generation of happy photos and miserable lives. And then here is talent. This one here was sent privately, but I think talent meant to send it to everyone. And it says, what is the process of realization? And I'm pulling you back because talent was one of the last people to ask a question in Mfundisi, which you still have to address. What is the purpose of realization? Is the if the facade is there, how then does one know that they're not meeting with the facade? So when you call the board meeting and those resolutions are being signed, how do you know that this is the real me that I'm engaging with now? Because sometimes you convince yourself of a lie to a point that the lie becomes the truth itself. And then the truth then becomes the lie. You reach those points. So how do I then know? And I'm having this meeting with myself that this is now the real me. We sometimes pull ourselves to an extent that when you no longer remember who you were before you even started acting. Hey, so move from generations and forget, no man. I'm Connie Ferguson, and then she now begins to live like Karabo in the real life. I think that is what my brother is addressing. Uzandile N Atiena. The argument is that people don't post all the bad things they're going through because there's already so much negativity in the world, and it's better to spread more positive energy. Should we then post selfies crying in an effort to portray a balanced life? We do need to draw some lines. Our vulnerability cannot be exposed to everybody. It's okay to decide to post your nice food, your beautiful pictures, your fitness journeys on social media, and expose the ugly parts of your life only to your loved ones. But this, when you were answering me on this, and I think this was the gist of your presentation today, because that was my question as well earlier on. And I think Zandi Mfundisi, his response to, I think that exposing your ugly self and exposing, you're actually not exposing to third parties. That comes in later if you decide to, but the honesty to self, it's exactly that. to yourself. Expose yourself to yourself. Ukanyisa sent a message, and I think this was also meant for you, but she sent it privately. Says, what if your weakness is anger? And then also Notando says, your weakness is not your failure. Guzo, the great, says, powerful program, fairy shots are fired. It's amazing how the color of Jesus becomes controversial when we start shifting from the white, blue-eyed boy. But I digress. Back to South. I'd say, Ukanyisa, you cannot be real if now you do not know the real you. We have been so dishonest to ourselves that we believe the lie and we think the lie is who we are. Honesty is key. If things are well, great now. Enjoy the moment. Check in, post those pictures. You can't fail to enjoy life because we think things will go bad in the future. Enjoy when, in all honesty, things are good. And when they are bad, acknowledge them and then regeminate. And then let's see what other key ones are coming in. Mara, why married people got Bankosian? Okay, I don't know. I think that was contextual to what you were saying at the time. Sharon Atena Notando. That's what we are told in marriage counseling. Do not let people know your fights. Keep it within, but forget to tell people there are limitations to everything. There's advantages and disadvantages to it. And then Unotando. Okay, let me not, because this is between Unotando and Sharon, so we'll skip a lot of that. But guys, I think it's some powerful points that they were sharing, and Umkelichi also jumped into the discussion. You can go and read that. I'm just trying to find so that we don't miss a question. Some people are not too confident to speak out. So if someone had posted, Bongi says, you see, if you don't deal with your child issues, they will definitely affect your adulthood. Okay. HK as well. HK is the chief social worker at Lifeline. We always see her there on SABC. She's also shared some points there. Tumelo, is she on speaker?
She's going to be on speaker.
Oh, she's also going to be a speaker, I understand. Interesting. Only got powerful people. Spoo, HK. Tumelo says, childhood traumas, if not dealt with, catch up with you later. And when it comes haunting you down in your older years, especially with no resources, the older you go, the older you does not understand what's going on. So most people deal with it in terms of retaliation, and that's where everybody you relate with gets bitter gets bitter. That's when everyone you relate with gets the bitter end of your pain. Yeah, reach a stage where now everybody you relate with then gets the bitter side of you there and your pain. You're ventilating, I suppose, and they're on the receiving end. The vaccine I told you is back. What if being yourself reduces your chances of being cuffed?
Maybe like I'm your partner.
Cuffed. We are now together.
It's in Google.
Yeah, just Google it. We'll come back to that vaccine. Muano says that someone once said, if you never heal from what hurts you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. Sure. If you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. We must stop killing good relationships around us by transferring aggression to others. Sure. Muano, the bigger problem about opening up, especially to men, okay? All right, let me just read this with a sober mind. The bigger problem about opening up, especially to men, is because the society said indoda aikali. Oh, okay, no, I see. Hey, please seek help before you bleed on innocent souls. Yo, Mfundisi, the comments are going on and on. HK is sharing the line there for professional help, 24/7 toll-free number. If you need assistance, guys, please. Sometimes you come to Mtandas or you come to Ashley and we're not well suited. In fact, we end up doing more harm than the good. There's some people that are experts. They were trained to handle your situation. So make use of that number that Henrietta has shared. Mfundisi, it's been a lovely afternoon. Sibongile kakhulu for your time. We're always thankful for the inspiration and the power. We're giving it over to you now. Summarize, conclude for us, give us the key deliverables, whereafter we'll share the announcements. And yeah, Asbong and Mfundisi, you can even pray for us as soon as you're done.
Okay. I'm humbled, gentlemen and ladies, for the opportunity. This is how I want to get to my conclusion. My conclusion is seek counseling. Seek therapy. In other words, seek an environment where you're comfortable to be vulnerable and we are not judged. And you don't feel you need to explain why you're broken down, or you're breaking down, rather to say. If you find yourself that environment where you rest, guys, kubalulekile ukuthi uthole indawo yakho yokuphumula, hey? Can I please beg? Find your place of rest. Find your place of rest where you know you will get there, kick off your shoes, and cry. And after being crying, they give you a hug, and they don't make you feel less of a man. You know? And you remain intact, though broken. So that's my plea. As much as it's hard to trust abantu bakwethu ngeindaba zakho, because abantu vele bayashwashwatha. But you need to find a safe environment. And the first safe environment you can find is yourself. Because it's very rare that wena ngokwakho uzozihleba, uzothatha indaba zakho, unless really you need more counseling than required. Ukuthi wena kube uyozihlebayo. You know? Yeah, you will need more counseling than required. But the issue I'm trying to bring is find an individual. Let there be a support system around you. Don't face this thing alone. Some of us are here, we've been through some of these things. I mean, I was telling my friends, I'm not even 40. I'm not even 40. But I'm experiencing things like, wow, abanye abantu abaku-pension at 65 have never experienced them. You know? So some of us are here. God uses our lives as a life object lesson. That's what I've accepted about myself more often than not. Ukuthi impilo yami intshumayelo. Mina ngiphila isemon, gents. Kuvuruvayeke kuvuke uNkulunkulu abe khona. I've always said to myself, sometimes you don't have to listen to a sermon. Just look at my life and see the hand of God. And learn of my mistakes. And I might not be the only one. There are many of us who have been through experiences that are willing to be a life support for somebody else. So I'm trying to say, guys, while we can speak here and conclude and enjoy the topic, if we don't do something about it, then we are wasting our time. But it's just 2 hours, almost 3. If there's nothing that is going to be done after this, if you're not going to stand up, if there are not going to be groups where people say, as friends, guys, let's come together and come and tackle issues of our upbringing. Let's come together and come and tackle issues of saying, a stepmother. I was really brought up by a stepmother, and these are my experiences as a stepson or as a stepdaughter. So you need to find yourself in an environment where you are talking to people about your past, your present, and your future without being threatened. I think I can conclude it in that manner.
Sure. Siyabonga Mfundisi, thank you so much. Mfundisi, before you pray, there's a comment that's coming through from HK, and it says, many at times, ladies expect to be loved, to be pampered with endless gifts and, of which there's nothing wrong. However, may this lesson teach us that we might be expecting all that from a broken man still struggling with childhood traumas. May we rather spend so much time trying to reach out to our partners and be loving and lovable. You might just be the only therapist your partner can ever be exposed to. Let's
close our eyes and pray. Kind loving Father, we thank you. This afternoon we must really be honest and discuss izinto esingeke sikwazi ukukhuluma ngazo freely and comfortably to anybody else. Kodwa ke namhlanje Jehova usinikezile amandla to say, stand up, speak up, have a conversation about this thing, analyze this thing and see how far it might help you. So Lord, we are here to say thank you for the afternoon program. Thank you for the leadership of the 2:30 conversation. Because banikeza inspiration, banikeza amandla nokubambana, babumbane Jehova beyimbumba, so that in whatever program they bring us for, it's all about God. It's not about them. It's about progressing the young people of our community. Some of us, Lord, here have been through experiences of but we are standing today. Others have been through experiences of kodwa balele phansi ngezisu Jehova. Siyaxela Nkosi, sipha amandla. Nabo bapha amandla sivusane. Sime ndawonye Jehovah. And let me be my brother's keeper. Let me be an environment that is safe for somebody to come and open up and help somebody else to be the same. Dismiss us, Jehovah, but never depart from us. To this end, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. That's Pastor Faya. Thank you so much, everybody, for pulling through. We're going to ask that you stay for a few seconds. We have a couple of announcements that Brother Mtandas is going to run us through. So if you can just bear with me, I'm sharing the screen. This is our upcoming programs and yeah. Tazu.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. I don't know how we're sharing. Can you see?
Yeah, I think they can.
Just check it from that perspective.
There you go.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for coming through and much appreciated. So these are the announcements for the day. Obviously, this is 2:30 Conversations. We had a lot of new people. I think we're just looking at different names today with Ashley. We want to thank you for coming. We are inviting you to come again next week. We have two parts of this program. The first one is at 9:30 in the morning, where we do the Sabbath school lesson. Usually it's with me and Ulianda, or just me or Lianda at that moment. So we also invite you to come for the Sabbath school lesson by all means at 9:30, using the same link for Zoom. And if you're going to be on Facebook, the same link for Facebook, right? We are on Facebook as well as 2:30 Conversations. Please do like our page, 2:30 Conversations on Facebook. Do like our page. That's where we post some of our, most of our adverts there. So please do check them out. We have our mother who happens to be SDA_advertise, where we're coming from. So we're the child, SDA_advertise is the mother. You can also find us on SDA_advertise. In fact, that is where we're doing our live streaming as we speak right now. We are on Instagram again. This platform is very important because on it, we send through SDA Advertise the advertisements for 2:30 Conversations. Not only that, you'll find other posters for other SDA programs happening throughout the whole of South Africa, or sometimes even beyond. So please, by all means, do like that page, follow that page along with other pages that you follow as well. Guess what? 230 Conversations SDA. We are on YouTube. This is what we do. So every time we have a lesson, we download it and then we upload it, right? So we still have a bit of a backlog because we started doing this just recently. This ministry has been in existence since last year, sometime in I think March or so, right? It was obvious now it's probably a year. So there's been a lot of speakers, over 52 speakers, considering the fact that there's almost 52 weeks in a particular year. So we're still piling up this conversation that we've had on the YouTube channel. So please do bear with us. We're going to put this one as well, done by yours truly, Faya. This was our lesson in the morning, Abraham's seed. That was the Sabbath lesson with Ulianda. And obviously now, having done this lesson, we can now be honest to ourselves. Because when we're honest to ourselves, Umjolo, the pandemic, which is happening next week, will become not a pandemic anymore. Now this man, Elder Machando. I like how Leander pronounces his name. It's Elder Macando, right? So Elder Macando, yeah, this man. He is known, check him out on YouTube, check him out on, I think on Facebook as well. He is known to be the man who speaks the truth. But still in that same line, he is a man of experience. So Jolo of the pandemic, as we know, is something that we're going to discuss with everything Jolo related within the context of the Christian circle, how we can handle it, how God can help us through as we go through years of experience with Elder Macando on that one. So with me and Leander next week, 9:30, we are doing the lesson Covenant at Sinai, all right? Covenant at Sinai, that's lesson number 7. Please do, if you don't have the quarterly, the one where we study this lesson on, you can contact us. We'll put our numbers right now, or you can just download it from ssnet.org, ssnet.org, so that you can read lesson number 7 and be able to, when you come in on Sabbath at 9:30, you can be able to get that through. Right. Lastly, this is it. Airtime contributions. We have a data fund whereby people that don't have access to data, and thank God, because a lot of people came through today. So I want to tell you that a lot of people were contacting me on my number, there's 073, saying they need data, and thank God we were able to help them out on that. So if you want to contribute to the data fund, do contact me, 073-974-8498. Please do contact me if you want to contribute to the data fund. I tell you, it's helping quite a lot of people. As of today, I think we gave it up to about maybe 15 or 20 people of data, and we give 30 rand. So that's almost 600 rand as of today. So we want to be able to thank God for that, but also we probably need that part of that help in a certain way. So that's basically our comments or our announcements for today. Thank you so much for coming through. I think, Ashley, we are going to end the session on Facebook, rather, to say to the Facebook family, you can come to Zoom if you want to. We are done with our session. You are free to go, but if you want to hang around, we usually say this is after tears.